Let's try to understand that how production-ready Solidity smart contract look like and what structure we follow in the industry when it comes to writing the smart contract. No matter what business logic you want to develop, but there are a couple of structure you have to follow as a Solidity smart contract developer. And this is the very common mistakes I have found among new developers, and even intermediate developers make the same mistakes. So right now, currently I'm working on one of our client project where I'm building a smart contract with specific feature related to the NFT marketplace. So for this tutorial, I have restructured the entire smart contract to show you that what structure you have to follow when you're going to write your next contract in your company. So you will find that I have the entire documentation which I have written about the logic which I have to implement in the contract. And here I have called bad contract, bad structure, and here I have called good structure. So let me first take you to the bad structure. If I open that one, if I open this my contract.sol, you will find that this is the huge contract we have, which has all the feature related to NFT, buying, bidding. You will find that this contract is pretty huge and it's combined all the feature which you can imagine, which you can have in a NFT marketplace. And this is not what you have to do when you want to write any project, any contract. The business logic we follow in the industry, that we follow the micro SaaS or microservice model. So in that, we divide the entire contract into small chunks in small files. So one file, one function can deal with one particular feature. So you will find the entire contract is in one file, is in one file. But if I show you the build structure, the structure we follow in the industry, if I open that one, you will find that we have defined, because we have to keep all the things in mind, that how you're going to handle reentrancy, overflow, libraries we have which deal with the multiplication, division, minus, plus, that's all we have. So you will find that I have divided this entire contract into multiple files. So first deals with access control. So if I open that one, you will find that all the feature which going to be related with the admin and the user who going to create the NFT, have the ownerships, whether they are allowed to have the bidding, staking, because all of these features we're going to add into the contract. So there we need to handle the ownership. So we have to check the access level, that what kind of accessibility that particular creator or the developer or the admin have in the contract. That's the entire chunk we have defined. For pause, for set admin, unpause, that's all you will find. In the same way, if you come back to the library, you will find the common mathematical calculation we perform within the contract. So we have the fee, we have the seller amount, we have the validation of the pricing, we have the ownership. That's all we have. So these are the regular functions we use it. If you come back to the NFT marketplace, there we have the most of the major functions which come together and is going to act accordingly. So we are importing the library and then we are executing all of that. If you come back to the NFT Sol, this is what we have, which allows us to deal with minting NFTs. We need that model which allow them to mint the NFT into the marketplace in the contract. In the same way, we have to handle the payment because we are following multiple payment strategies. So in case in future you want to pile it up and add more payment options, generally you have to provide all the options right up here in the payment model, that what kind of cryptocurrency you're going to accept as a payment. So if you want to embed, you want to allow user to have a payment in USDT or USDC or any other currency, you can simply define that. So in this way, what will happen? The entire logic is separate in one particular file. So if you want to navigate into your contract structure, you can easily able to find it out. For example, this contract is live. Now you are building extra pages in your front end. You want to simply build a backdoor for your dashboard, for your admin. So you can simply integrate that very easily, because you know that this particular feature is in this particular file and it has these functions. So I can only pick that part and integrate in the front end. So this structure you have to keep in mind, that when you are writing, never write the complete code in one single file. Most of the contract you will find at the moment generated by the AI and the beginner, and this is what they are doing. They are simply generating in single file, which creating a lot of complexity, because the more lines of code you will have in your contract, the higher the chances to make mistakes. So try to just distribute your entire logic into a small chunks and just call it wherever you need in your contract. So this is the structure we follow in the industry. So next time when you go to write your smart contract, make sure to follow this particular structure. And by the way, if you really want to master complete blockchain development from scratch, where you're going to build a full-fledged NFT marketplace from scratch, you're going to master a complete solid programming language, and every single topic is going to be related with the last one. So you can able to build that connection, that what you have learned in the past and what you are learning, and you're going to combine all of that as a whole. So you're going to build and the complete industry ready smart contracts. So make sure to check this particular bootcamp in which you will master complete blockchain development, every single tool, every single topic which you have to know as a blockchain developer. So I'll provide you the link in the description. Click on that and simply check the model. Check the model, you will automatically understand that how we can take multiple payment option within our system, how we can allow bidding, staking, chat communication, like buy and selling, front end, back end integration. That's all we have included. So make sure to check this one. You will learn every single thing in this particular one. So that's the only thing I want to cover. I hope you have understood that what structure you have to follow when you go to write your next smart contract. With that, I'm ending this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.